Hey guys, how are you? It is Jean Watts. Welcome back to my channel. This is a very special episode to me. You guys have heard me talk about a million times about spirituality. I'll tell you a little bit about my story and why I'm so spiritual and why it's changed my life. I am going to give us all something to work on for the month of January because it is New Year's. I love New Year's. I love change. I love fresh starts. It's just a fresh of breath air. I personally love the New Year's, so I will also give you guys kind of like a New Year's ritual or whatever you want to call it that I did last year, and it's crazy how many things came true for this year. This is gonna be really long. I'm gonna try to make this not so long, but this might be like the longest episode, but okay. So first we're gonna start with the sponsor, and I started working with them months ago. Well, they gave me a free 3-month trial to try out their service to see, you know, one, if I like it, and just so I get a better understanding of what it is. And so the sponsor of this video is BetterHelp. I love this service. It is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. It has 25,000 licensed therapists ready to go to just listen and give advice. That's extremely important. I mean, mental health is such a big thing nowadays. We hear about it all the time, and it's an amazing thing to talk about. Because generations before us didn't understand it. It was never talked about. It was pushed down and aside, and we've now gotten to the point where we realize that that is just not a way to live, and it's not human. And everyone deals with mental health in some way or another. But therapy is so expensive, and that's what's really hard to try to talk to somebody that is the right person for you. So BetterHelp is a service where you sign up, you answer a few questions of what you're looking for, what you need, your preferences, and then they link you up with all types of options of therapists that is perfect for what you're looking for. And so I did that. I signed up, I answered the questions, they gave me a bunch of therapists, and once you link up, I have an option to talk to them on a phone call, through text, on the phone, on a video call. I like connection as much as possible, so I did the Zoom call. It was amazing. Like, my therapist was an actual angel, and we both believe in the same things. She was very spiritual too, so we really bonded with that, and it was amazing. And what's really cool on the app, you can like do journal entries every day, and you can save them for yourself, or you can choose an option for your therapist to read your journal entries. So your therapist can kind of like get an update of everything that's going on in your life, how you've been doing, how you've been feeling. So when you do get to session, you can pick it up from there. I think this is the greatest app and the greatest solution for therapy not being so accessible for people. So I highly recommend. I probably have a QR code somewhere on the screen, and if you guys sign up, I'm gonna put a link below. You get 10% off your first month. And if you, and also, let's say you hook up with a therapist and for some reason it's just not a vibe, because finding the right therapist is, you know, it's like any relationship. It can be a trial and error, and that's totally okay. But there are 25 licensed therapists on this app. You'll find somebody. But let's say you're linked with somebody, it's not vibing well, you can easily switch to a different therapist with no additional charge. This app is absolutely perfect, and I highly recommend for anybody. You don't need to have a therapist only when something is going on in your life that's wrong, or if you're struggling. Like, everybody needs somebody to talk to, and it's actually a very powerful thing to do. It is not a weak thing to get a therapist. So, especially for guys that are watching, I get teary-eyed about everything, but especially guys that are watching, like, you know, they were always raised to think that therapy was a sign of weakness and it was only for women, and hell no. It's actually attractive when men go to therapy. And it's good to just talk to somebody. But yeah, so that is a sponsor for this video. Highly, highly recommend. I will link everything below, and it is BetterHelp, HELP.com. Okay, so I am going to get into a little bit about how and why I have become so spiritual, and I don't know, this stuff is honestly the most interesting thing to me, and I absolutely love this stuff. So I have learned so many things in my life that has changed my life completely, and I could have chosen so many different paths. Sorry, I just threw the ball to my dog. But I don't know, like this is everything to me. Music is my passion. Makeup and fashion is something I'm good at, but spirituality is everything that I am. And again, it's changed my life. So a little of how I started becoming spiritual. I had a very, very hard growing up. It's just something I'm not fully comfortable getting fully into quite yet, but it was really, really hard, and I never experienced anything but evilness, things just not working right, like people always talking about me, being totally misunderstood, never having help, never having the right people around me, no one ever listening to me, and just terrible people in my life doing terrible things to me, and me just being terrible to myself and sometimes to other people. And it was really hard. It's all I knew was negative. That's all I knew. And so by the time I graduated high school, I was like, I'm kind of like done with life. Like I just don't see anything that was good about it. Nothing. It was just very hard and very lonely. And self-love was negative. No self-love at all. I mean, the minute I even attempted to try to self-love, there was always somebody in my life that verified why I shouldn't. And I developed really bad codependency with terrible human beings. And it was really bad. There was, oh my gosh, I totally forgot about this until right now. Okay, well, this is gonna get pretty deep, but there was a time I remember sitting in my car and I was like, you know what? I just don't see the point in living anymore. Like, I really don't. Like, I'm good. I, might follow through on not living anymore. And I remember just making peace with it. This is gonna sound kind of corny, but for some reason on my radio, the Firework from Katy Perry came on. And there's just something about that song that I was just like, I was bawling my eyes out. And then like that song came on, and if you hear the lyrics or anything like that, it's a super uplifting, positive song. I remember just sitting there and I was like, God, give me a sign, like an obvious one, not one that, is gonna be misunderstood or whatever it is, an obvious sign. And I just didn't drive my car into a wall, and I was just like, okay, I'm gonna try to move forward and move on. But I did get this feeling of faith, and whatever, I started taking my moves. 3 days later, I got a random email from somebody who saw that online that I was a singer, and they were a producer, and they wanted to hear my music, and they wanted to work together. And that's a different topic of how I kind of started doing music. But as I kept taking each step and taking it day by day, I was sleeping on one of my ex-boyfriend's friend's house on his couch, and he gave me a book called The Secret. And he's like, hey, I have this book, like maybe you should read it. And I read The Secret, and if any of you guys know what The Secret is, it's a great opening of understanding what law of attraction is. And law of attraction is basically the teachings of the Bible. It's the same thing, they're just different. One's story-based and one's kind of more, it's scientifically based. Like, everything is an energy, and I have experienced it all myself. And I've experienced so many different things. I love testing what works and what doesn't work in life, and these are all, and I've had crazy shit happened to me, believe it or not. I've experienced a lot of this. This isn't even just stuff that I've, read. But anyways, once I started reading The Secret, it was kind of hard to accept that it's like, whoa, I'm responsible for everything that happens in my life. Like, I draw all this negative shit in my life. Like, I draw all these shitty people, and when I'm just trying my best, like that, it's hard to swallow that. But once you get over that hump, that you do have so much control over your life and the energy that you put out and all that stuff. So I went from having nowhere to live, being homeless for a good minute, not having any idea of what I'm doing or where to go or who to turn to or what my next step was. But all I had was myself and the universe or God or whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing. And so I was like, okay, so I read The Secret. This is realistically who I am. And it takes a lot of reflection within yourself. I was a very bad procrastinator. And because of that, I was an over-perfectionist. I would stand in my own way, convince myself why I didn't deserve certain things. I never loved myself, never thought I ever deserved anything good to ever happen to me. Only hung out with people that weren't the best towards me, that talked about me behind my back, never saw me for me. I would get really excited about something like How I Always Am, but then completely talk myself out of it. I was really angry all the time. I had short fuses. All I knew was abuse, so that's how I handled everything. Like, just nothing good. And then I wrote down the best version of me, and she was very, very different from that. And that was kind of like, okay. So I started going through each thing of, okay, this person, how do they live their life? How do they look at life? How do they dress? How do they walk? What do people say about them? And that is not a quick fix. That basically took all my 20s, is just doing my inner work, working on my triggers. It's another thing that's so amazing about inner work, especially with social media right now. There was a time in social media, especially when I started social media, where it was like being perfect, but the perfect lifestyle, and like people loved that. People loved to just see that. They were interested in it. And then especially when the pandemic hit, people are just they don't want to see that shit anymore. Like, whatever it is, like, people will see another person's life and be like, wow, why isn't that not me? That makes them feel like shit. We all feel that way. I know a lot of you guys say very nice things about me, but believe me, I definitely feel that way every now and then. Like, just like you, everybody does. I can tell you stories about literally the most beautiful women in the world being very strange in a personal experience where I'm like, are they out of their mind? They're the most beautiful woman by like fact. And everyone deals with it, and that's okay because we're human and it happens. But knowing what triggers are will help everything. It will help your relationship with the world. It will help your relationship with friends. It will help your relationship with social media. It will help your relationship with yourself, everything. And then that's when your life starts to change. But again, it's a forever journey. But doing your inner work and triggers and learning where it's coming from and knowing that everything starts with yourself, it becomes, once you get over the hump, it's too much to kind of handle. Once you kind of get over it, it's so empowering. Like, once you get the hang of shit, you're like, oh, I can attract this, I can attract that. Life becomes so exciting. Your relationships with everything changes, your views on the planet. And to be honest with you, the better we individually, each person lives, the better this world will be, because we are all one conscious. That's a totally different. I'm trying to start with the basics here because I can get real out there. But life is beautiful, man. I promise you. Like, I'm very happy right now, and it's not something to get jealous of. You might at first because you haven't done your inner work, but let this be perfect example that if I can have it, you can have it. 100%. And you might say, oh no, no, it's different for you. Promise you that. But if you want to believe that, you will manifest more of that reality to you. So for this month, I've been writing down all this stuff. So for this month of January, I want to give us all something to work on. And an angel that follows me gave me this idea because I kept telling you guys, I'm like, I have so much to say about this and I want to help people live better lives because I have seen the rock bottom and I've seen the tippity top before. So it's like, let me help you. But I just didn't know how to say it. So someone who followed me is like, hey, why don't you give us something to work on each month? So I love that idea. So for this month, to start with the basics of January, is self-awareness. If you don't have self-awareness, doing any type of inner work is going to be near impossible, if anything, actually impossible. Self-awareness is deep. And it can get hard because you're looking at yourself really, like, authentically who you are, all your demons, all the beauty in you, your flaws, everything. And it's like looking at the big picture of just like who you are, the painting of you. And then you can, when you do that, when you do self-awareness, you are then able to be like, okay, this is something about me that is toxic to my own self. This is something about me that's toxic towards others. And these are things that are holding me back. These are something that I need to change about myself, whatever it is. There's so many things about it. When you have really good internal awareness, you are happier, you are more peaceful, you are satisfied. When you have really low internal self-awareness, you'll have a lot of anxiety, you'll have stress, you'll feel empty, you'll feel lost, you'll get jealous, and a lot of us live with very, very low internal self-awareness. And so we point at everything else in the world. That person makes me feel like shit. This is something wrong with the world that makes me feel bad. And all these things that I can't control, nothing's in my control, everything's really bad. That's such a limiting way to live when that is a choice that you are living by. And again, I'm going to help you work on that because I used to be like that. Then there's external self-awareness. So external self-awareness is how others see you, how you make others feel, like what you're putting out into the world. I mean, I know so many people that I have so much compassion because we're all on our own spiritual journey. But it's really hard for me to sometimes be around people that are not self-aware because it's kind of like watching someone drive like crazy. And they can do some things that are super, offensive or mean or just like a lot or like draining because they just don't understand that they just don't have any self-awareness. So a lot of people who have high external self-awareness, it has a lot of empathy, compassion, and people who have very low external self-awareness are very self-centered, very jealous, conniving, always kind of have an agenda, always think everyone's out to get them. They're trying to always find something wrong with everybody else. Like that can keep going. And when you live like that, you will start manifesting that kind of life. So if you go to everybody and you think everybody has a problem but you're gonna realize that everyone's gonna have a problem with you. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. So I'm trying to say all this stuff, but keep in mind, have compassion with yourself. Like, we are not born to be perfect human beings, and it's okay to fall and then get up and fall and then get up. And honestly, when you work on this month, like, it might be very hard to kind of watch yourself. It's such a big person thing to do. But when you notice the flaws, because we all have flaws, we all have demons, all of us, promise you. I, for one, have many that I had to work on like crazy. So it's okay. So have compassion with yourself and try to learn to love yourself through this, because inner work is very heavy, but it's such a beautiful thing. It really is. It's a dance in life, and it's art. It truly is art. You know, I really want to give us something else to work on, but I feel like it might be too much. No, just work on yourself. Self-awareness. Think about how when someone pisses you off, think about why it pisses you off. Deep down, why it pisses you off. Because a lot of times people piss us off and it really has nothing to do with us. We make it about us. Like, oh, I don't know, I can get into so many things. It could be someone posts something. For an example, let's use social media because it's light. Someone posts something, we might get upset by it. That person is not the reason why you're upset. You're upset because you made it about you. Somehow you made someone's post about you. And that's okay, because we take in information and that's how we process, and then we have an opinion, and then we have emotions. But when we just let our emotions fly and we're not self-aware about it at all, it starts to control us. And we should not be controlled by our emotions. Think about why things upset you, the way you talk to somebody, the way you talk to yourself, all those dreams that you have, or that big dream that you have, or something that makes you happy, what's stopping you from making it happen? What is that fear? What is that what are the limiting beliefs? What are your traumas? What are things that happen from your past that make you act in a certain way now? Like, these are all really great questions to really sit with yourself and journal about. Maybe even look at yourself in the mirror and do some mirror work and look and be with yourself. Form a really good relationship with yourself. Like, get intimate about it. Like, look at yourself in the mirror. Talk to yourself. Tell yourself that you love yourself. And when you don't believe it the first time, just say it over and over again until something finally clicks. You might cry, it might be emotional, but getting in tune with yourself is everything. Self-awareness. So all of January, I want you guys to work on self-awareness, and like DM me. Sometimes I do like the questions on my stories on my Instagram, but I always check them. So tell me what, I always have them up there, so answer there where I can see them, or comment if you guys need help with anything. I'm telling you, I love this stuff. But yeah, so because it's New Year's, I love New Year's. I did this last year and it's wild. I wrote down, okay, let me start over here. I love New Year's. Okay, we know this, I said it. So I love making a thing out of New Year's, like really with myself, where it's like, it's my self time, right? So what I think you guys should do, and this is what I will be doing too, is one, I want you to write down all the things that you expect out of 2023. And I want you to write them down as if it already happened. Let's say financially, you're like, I want to make $4,000 a month. I make $4,000 a month. I make $4,000 a month. I'm a money genius. I'm brilliant at money. I'm so smart. I just know how to make money easily, and it just flows to me easily, right? Affirmations. I don't know if there's some people that don't know, it's called an affirmation. But if it's the next thing, I want to be the best. I want to be so healthy. I am so, right? You want to be healthy, right? I am so healthy. I'm the best I've ever felt. Then write about how it makes you feel. Like, get in the feels of it. And just do that all the way down. Like, all the things you're kind of expecting out of 2020. And then I want you to make a vision board. I'll get in another video about this stuff, but because this then goes into manifesting. So I'm gonna basically tying in manifesting and inner work together, because manifesting the right things will definitely help you and encourage you to keep doing your inner work, because it's really hard at first. It's like working out. It's really, really hard at first. You're not gonna want to do it. It's really weird. Your body, you're tired. You're gonna convince yourself. You're pushing your body to do shit. Your body's telling you you should stop. Then you get over the hump, and then you start seeing results, and then it becomes easier and more addicting, and easier and more addicting. And then once you're done it long enough, it becomes habit, and it becomes who you are. It's forming a habit. So make a vision board. So like I use Pinterest, or you can like put an album on your phone, or you can print things out, whatever is easiest for you. But make a vision board of each of those things. So if it's, you want to be really healthy, save a bunch of like body types that you like, being active, people being happy and healthy. If it's money, think about, write down how thankful you are that you don't have to worry about stress and money anymore, and you can pay for these things, and you're never going to be in that type of debt again, or whatever it is. Attracting the right people in your life. I accidentally manifested my boyfriend, and I've 100% manifested my friends. But make a vision board of people having fun and experiences that you want. And then I want you to maybe put some music that makes you, like M83 is a great band that just has really inspiring music, or Emmett Finn. Like if you listen to any of that type of music, like you can put your headphones in and then look at these pictures and experience it in your head. Like imagine actually experiencing it. It's not easy, but do it over and over again until you start like feeling as if you're experiencing those things. You'll feel it, you'll get excited. And that's when you know you're matching the vibration. Again, I'm trying to make this easy, but I just want you to write the things that you are expecting out of 2023. And then I want you to sit with them, and I want you to journal that as if they already happened. You are it's like winning an award. You are so thankful for everybody in your life, and everything just came in a full circle, and you are just in love with yourself, in love with life, in love with everybody else, and you are just radiating love. I want you to try to imagine that feeling, and honestly try doing that every single day. Honestly, that's the whole point. But be easy on yourself in the beginning when it's hard. You can do it, promise. And then after you write your goals for 2023, I want you then to write down things about yourself that you are letting go of. What if it's talking bad about yourself? That's gonna be another video. Talking bad about yourself, you're gonna release that. You're gonna release doubting yourself. You're gonna release comparing yourself. You're gonna release not setting boundaries with people who don't respect you, that don't feel good. You're releasing standing in your own way, procrastinating, not doing the things that you know is gonna be best for you. Whatever it is, write it all down. And then I want you to, I'll make this one easy. I want you to crinkle in a ball, and I want you to hold on to it and think about all these things that just no longer serve you anymore. And I want you to go outside. It could be like the night before New Year's, it could be like the day after, or New Year's Day. And then I want you to light it on fire. And I want that to be, and I want you to feel it being a thing that you are letting go of these old lives, all these old things in your life that was formed through trauma and just trauma and structuring from your childhood or anything that's happened, and just letting it be in the past. And so you are starting the new year completely fresh, clean slate. You are not who you were yesterday. You are starting a new version of you, the best version of you, and you are about to be happy as f***. But you gotta believe it, and it's gonna be hard. There's gonna be a lot of lows ahead of you. But that's another thing I want to get into, is as highs and lows. I'm gonna explain it now, so just in case like doing any of the self-awareness is going to bring a lot of low moments for yourself, because it's honestly good, and it's normal, and it means you're kind of doing it right. Because inner work is not rainbows, and it's not easy, and it's not light. But who wants boring, same old shit anyways, right? Highs and lows. Highs are great, obviously they're highs, but they never last. And lows are lows, they suck, but they never last. but everything is a vibration. Everything, who you are, everything you touch, your dog, your connection with somebody, your Wi-Fi to satellite, music, radio, everything is a vibration. It's crazy. This holds a vibration. It's science. So if you think of it that way, vibrations go like this, right? They're always waves, rather release low waves or deep waves. So there's highs and lows. And so highs are fantastic. They're great. And it's good to try to hold on to that. When you're feeling good, when you're feeling love, try to hold on to that love, right? And when you hit your lows, it's okay. It's your body usually processing and your body recharging and reflecting, and it can feel like depression, right? So then we get caught up, oh my God, it's low, I'm feeling low, I'm having anxiety, and you get kind of like down this rabbit hole of like, oh no, like life's falling apart. And lows are just moments to just get offline, spend some time with yourself, journal, get some rest, sleep, do some self-care, go outside, nurture yourself. And what you're doing, if you learn how to balance your lows, you will then prep yourself for your highs. And highs are great because that's when you should start being manifesting, and you should start making moves, doing things, you're vibrating high, and then you're gonna hit a low again. And a lot of times, like especially for us women, we have cycles throughout the month. So our bodies are making us feel different ways. So it's just learning to flow. I'm feeling high today, I'm feeling low. I'm feeling high today, I'm feeling low, and just not getting stuck. Again, be nice to yourself, be loving to yourself. Like, you are all you've got, and you are amazing, and you are the one that you will always have. Everything that you've been through it. Every time you kept going, that was you. Like, there's so much to love for. The social media thing, I mean, I just feel like everyone's getting so lost in social media because there's just not enough reminders. There's just not enough depth, and there's not enough reminders that social media is not everything. It feels that way because it kind of is business-wise. Like, I literally have to be online in order for me to release my music or to connect with you guys and all that stuff. But like, you know what? I'm gonna do another video on social media. Get ready, because shit's about to turn up for you, and I am so excited about it. And the universe loves you. God's good. Like, we're in this together, and it's not that deep. And you and I are no different. I promise you. So if I can do it, you can do it. We got this. I'm really corny about this stuff. I can't help it. I just love this stuff. But books, if you're looking to read some books this month, read The Secret. It's a great understanding. Read Ask and It's Given. That was the second book I ever read. I'm basically telling you the books like I read in order because for some reason it happened for me. But Ask and It's Given is another like cool understanding about basically grabbing a hold of your body and your life and understanding it a little more. And honestly, all the capabilities that you can have. One of the great things and the perks of doing all this, like, now that I finally figured out the flow, and I will forever be working on this, but kind of getting out of my own way and finding the beauty in everything. And I rewired myself that manifestings have been coming in faster and bigger than they ever have before. And I want to help you guys get in the same way, because you know what? We can all be happy. I know we live in a world where there's no way. We can't even imagine a world. There's always like the 1% and like everyone else, and you know, these type of people and this type of people, and everyone's different. I promise you, like, we can live in a world where we can all be happy. We can all have the things that we want. We can all live in abundance. That alone, like, I love trying to imagine that, because I feel like not enough people truly do imagine that. And again, I want to help you guys do that, because it's changed my life. I know I'm repeating myself. Okay, I think that's everything. I'm gonna do a video like this once a month. That's what I'm gonna do. So this month is self-awareness. Reach out to me if you guys have any questions or anything like that. It's going to be hard, but it will get easier. I promise. And yeah, Happy New Year! this year is going to be a new year. It's going to be a new you. It's going to be a new era in my life. It's going to be a new era on the planet. We are all waking up. It's so exciting, and it's going to get real messy, but overall, good is all around us. And I know it's very hard to see. We're all hearing about the bad, and there's a lot of weird shit going on, but we got this. Promise. Okay. Love you guys. Stay tuned for more. Happy New Year's. I love you guys. Thank you so much for your support.